Today on Gun Talk Nation, we've got Joel Hodgdon from Remington Ammo, and he's going to help us demystify which target clay loads you need. There's so many out there. How do you choose? And we're also going to talk about some other new products from them. Gun Talk Nation is brought to you by Faxon Firearms, the Fellowship of Firearms, Ballistic Advantage, SAUER, Hodgdon, the gunpowder people, and by EOTECH. Advantage you. All right, just like that. Welcome in, Gun Talk Nation. So today on Gun Talk Nation, we got my good buddy Joel Hodgdon, Remington Ammo. Welcome in, man.
Thank you. Thank you. Always good to be here, Ryan. Appreciate y'all having me.
So I expect during this podcast that you're just hand priming cases and just doing your little part to help with the ammo supply from your office, right?
No, Ryan.
You got a single stage press.
That's right. I'm over here with my mech just going at it, right?
Yes.
No, I wish. I mean, as you guys know, we're selling all of our ammo and primers straight to the government, right? We're not selling one round to anybody else. So,
dude, because the government pays top dollar. They don't, negotiate you down for you're barely making anything.
Yeah, I mean, let's just say the infamous $500 toilet seat or $1,000 ammo does not apply to government ammo contracts, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we sell 98% of everything we make straight to the hunter, straight to the shooter. I mean, what you're seeing on shelf, folks, is everything we're doing for you.
Yeah. So Big Green, you guys are cranking. We've been kind of talking about it for, I guess, a couple of years now. But so we've been talking about how you're in Arkansas, I'm in Louisiana. We've been talking about how hot it is.
Oh my gosh.
But that is kind of the shooting season for a lot of people, because I don't understand the people where lakes freeze over during the winter, but apparently that's a thing and they can't get out and shoot.
Yeah, I'd rather live in a shooting state too. I think here in Arkansas, we're pretty lucky that, I can get out and shoot some trap all year long. So yeah, we're going hard on target loads. I mean, if you're talking gun clubs, STS, Nitro 27, it's kind of peak season for us. So I try to get out and shoot a little bit, at least once a week. I'm shooting clays. I'm not very good for how much I shoot, right? But
that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Target shooting is like sex or bowling or whatever. It's fun whether you're good at it or not good at it. It's just
right.
It's all good.
Bad pizza, right? I'm with you.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So let's talk about clay loads, because you guys have some new ones, but I feel like, I know for a lot of people, it's like, all right, I'm going to go to the store. If you're shooting 12 gauge, I'm going to buy some 2 3/4 length, like, I don't know, 7.5s, 8s, 9s. Right. But like, how do you, I guess, talk about your clay loads, but also talk about, we've got STS, we've got Nitro, we've got all these different brands out there. I mean, how does somebody who's like, okay, I'm going to go shoot trap or skeet or sporting clays, how do you even choose?
Totally. There's a ton to pick from. And I think, we're Big Green, right? So every time you pull the trigger, whether you're shooting trap, skeet, sporting, 5-stand, feed task, back fence trap, an international competition load, whatever, we've really got a shell for you is kind of how we approach it. So I'd say it's kind of like, do you want to buy, you want to buy the GM or you want to buy the Cadillac, right? So depending on what you're going after, we've got all kinds of different price points and options there for you. So kind of our just get it done, pull the trigger, make it go boom, gun club, right? Remington gun clubs, classic load. I mean, that's 12, 20, 28, 410, kind of everything you're going to compete with. We've got it out there. We just rolled out, you mentioned our new loads. So in the gun club line, we've now got a low recoil load as well. So that's kind of fun.
Love that.
Right.
Love
so if
that.
you're out, dude, I get beat up, right? You're out shooting 100, 200 clays, sporting range, you're sweating, right? Like the last thing you want to do is go home with a sore shoulder, excuse me. So we've got 2 new 12 gauge low recoil loads that are exciting. And then, so that's our Chevy, right? That's our GMC, our Cadillac, our Lincoln, our Lexus, that's STS. So that stands for Skeet Trap Sporting. Those have been the top level competitive trap skeet sporting loads for 50 plus years, right? I mean, if you go out to The Grand American, you see like championship trap shooters shoot, it's probably STS. You go to the Sporting Clay Nationals down in San Antonio, it's probably STS, right? So if you really care about your performance, you probably want to go STS, just a better wad, better propellants, a little more consistent typically, really good loads. And so we also have a new low recoil load in STS, which I'm a big fan of as well. So you're right, there's a ton of options. I'd say just kind of ask around, see what your buddies are shooting, see what you can find these days, right? And if you want to learn more or even buy straight from us, you can just go to remington.com and check it out.
Gotcha. On the low recoil stuff, do you know if that will run in semi-automatics?
It will. Yep, it will.
Okay.
So, of course, most like sporting folks in particular are using an over-under, but I'm a big semi-auto guy. I kind of shoot to hunt. So for me, it's like if I can take my duck gun or my pheasant gun out and go to the range, get a little practice, I like doing that. So I want a target load that'll function, your Benelli, your Beretta, your Remington, whatever. And so
that's what a lot of people do, right? I mean, they shoot their hunting gun.
Get out in August, get ready for dove season, get tuned up. I think it's smart. So yeah, for sure. Our low recoil loads are kind of geared towards, competitive shooters and folks that are breaking hundreds of clays a week. But if you just want to get ready for dove season, it's a great option. It'll work in your semi.
So are the low recoil loads out now? Can they find them in stores?
They are. Yep. They're out now. We're making them. So we've got low recoil and STS, low recoil and Gun Club, and then we just launched another one as well. And I should say too, Ryan, I mean, I think people sometimes get the wrong idea. Like when I roll out a new product, we're still making millions and millions of rounds of the old product too, right? So just because we roll out low recoil Gun Club, we're still making your favorite Gun Club load. That hasn't stopped.
Don't worry. It's not an either or thing.
That's right. We're big green, right? We got the room in the plant. We're doing it all. Here in Arkansas. And so we also rolled out our new Gun Club Cure, which is a benefit product.
That's a cool one. Talk about that.
Yeah, man. And so that has a low recoil load as well in it. And so I want to tell folks about it. As most your viewers, listeners probably know, so Remington, we're now owned by the same parent company as Federal Ammo. Well, a few years ago, the Federal folks rolled out their Top Gun Pink. So it's kind of a breast cancer benefit shell, right? When you buy Top Gun Pink, Federal gives some money back to breast cancer. And I'm like, that's such a great idea. I'd love for Remington to do something and kind of benefit people as well. So what our team said is, hey, let's come out with a new version of Gun Club that's going to benefit childhood cancer and disease research. So, you think of your, here in Arkansas and Little Rock, we've got Arkansas Children's big research hospital. You think of your St. Jude's in Memphis, right? These folks need some funding. And so what we're going to do is we're giving a portion of our proceeds back to charity from Gun Club Cure. So it's a really unique kind of like Tiffany blue colored shell that you're not going to see anywhere else. And we talk a lot about on the box, hey, we're giving back. So I think it's kind of a fun product.
Yeah. And I think that it's important to do those types of things. It's good PR. That's cool. And I saw you guys also have a new Premier Nitro sporting clays.
We do, yep. So a couple line extensions there. Believe it or not, I don't think we've had a Premier Nitro sporting load in 20 or 28 gauge for a while. They may have had it originally, but not for a while. So it was all 12, maybe some 410s, I want to say maybe. But now we've rolled out Premier Nitro sporting in 20 and then 28 gauge, which... I'm hearing more and more about 28 gauge. I don't know. Do you shoot much 28 gauge, Ryan?
Oh yeah. 28 is one of those gauges that when you shoot it, it's so fun because not a lot of recoil. And if you have a gun that's kind of a true 28 gauge, it's very trim. It's not based on a 20 that they just chambered in 28, but it's a really trim, lightweight gun. And typically, ballistically, the 28 kind of punches above its weight class. It's very efficient ballistically. It patterns great, and you can kill ducks, pheasant, quail, obviously. People think, 28, that's like little birds, like doves and quail. Like, yeah, but with the right loads, you can do a lot. And obviously you can break clays with it all day long.
For sure. And again, going back to the guy that, hey, maybe you're a big duck dude and you want to tune up for fall. Well, Benelli is selling the crud out of those new 28 gauge SBE.
Oh my
Right?
gosh.
They're really
Those are
cool.
so cool.
I hate to give them a plug, but no, they're good folks, and they make some awesome shotguns. So I need to go buy one of those 28 gauges, but I think it's fun to have for a sporting load in 28 gauge because there are those guys that want to compete with it. And then they're the guys like us that, hey, maybe you want to shoot it at some ducks this year, so go try it on some clays first.
Yeah, very nice. So there's more happening at the Arkansas plant in Lonoke, and this is a legendary location. After we come back from this quick commercial break, we're going to talk about how you can go there. Faxon Firearms is family owned and operated out of Ohio, but what they are known for, first off, the ARAC 21. It's this weird little Frankenstein hybrid of an AK and an AR. It's really neat, and we've done some videos about it. It shoots super flat. They also have their handgun lines, so ways to kind of customize and upgrade Glock-style guns, aftermarket-wise, but also finished guns like their FX19 handguns, and a lot of other cool stuff. You can find out more at FaxonFirearms.com. Sig Sauer's newest is the P320X10. Combines all the X series features, but in a 10 millimeter. We have this gun here. Everybody in the office loves it. It's a 5-inch bull barrel, so it's kind of a longer slide. It's a pleasure to shoot, and it kind of softens the recoil of the 10 millimeter as far as I'm concerned. It's optics ready, and it comes with two 15-round mags. You can find out more about that sucker at sigsauer.com. And EOTECH. EOTECH offers a wide range of optics, holographic sights and magnifiers, but also rifle scopes in their Voodoo lineup. And check out the Voodoo lineup because it's kind of this sleeper optics brand that people don't know about, but it's from EOTECH and they're really good. They also do thermal and night vision, hybrid, and pistol sights. So EOTECH, EOTEChinc.com. Okay, Joel, I finally got to go up to the legendary Lonoke, Arkansas plant that you guys have. I think it's 1,200 acres. Is that right?
Yeah, it's gigantic. That's exactly right. 1,200 acres.
It's a legendary place. You got the shot tower where you drop this molten lead that makes the shot into perfect little balls and all this really neat historical stuff. But you have a shooting range and you have a clays course there, but you guys did something kind of a big announcement recently.
Yeah, we did. So I think, if you're going through Arkansas, you've probably driven right by our plant, right? We're right off I-40. So if you're coming west out of Memphis or east out of Little Rock, you're going to drive right by. You'll see the shot tower. We just painted a couple of big water tanks out front to look like giant shot shells, which credit to the maintenance guy, right? He's like, hey,
Awesome.
I'm painting these things. Do you want to do something fun with it? And I'm like, you're darn right I do. Hell yes. Paint that sucker like an STS.
Cool.
But no, here on site, so we opened the plant in the 60s. The Remington factory is built by DuPont back in the day. And so every load you shot, probably in your entire life, I know in my entire life, it's come out of this Arkansas plant. And then in I want to say the mid 80s, Remington opened up a public gun club right behind the plant. So you hop off right on Remington Road. It's Arkansas State Highway 15, so it's AR-15, right? Which is just,
oh my gosh,
I love it.
Perfect.
Yep, you hop off on AR-15, Remington Road. You go straight past the factory and you hit our gun club. And so we've got trap and skeet, and that's been there for forever. Big trap presence here in Arkansas. Lots of pro athletes come out of Arkansas shooting trap. We just opened up a brand new sporting clays course here, which we've been making some noise about. So now for the first time, the public can come through and you can see the shot tower, right, where your shot was made, and then you can go shoot it 300 yards away and watch it break a clay. So it's kind of a cool, I don't know if farm to table is the right term, right? But
yes,
totally. Tower to thrower, I don't know, right? Tower to clay.
These shells are so fresh. Oh my gosh, you can tell.
The gunpowder just smells better. That's right.
Yeah.
So no, it's been cool to have that club open back up. There's no membership fee, open to the public. Just come on by and shoot. Of course, we sell target shot shell. We sell gun club, STS, nitros straight out of that club too. So you don't bring any ammo. You can come buy it from us. It's kind of fun because under the old Remington, we went through some dark times, right? And there was a bankruptcy. The old ownership actually shut down that club, right? They didn't have liability. They said, hey, we don't want people shooting. And so the first thing Vista did when we walked in the door with Remington and we said, hey, this is what we do. This is what we're all about. Like, let's go shoot. So we opened the club back up. Youth are shooting out there again. And then we worked with Arkansas Game of Fish and the Midway USA Foundation to open up that brand new sporting clays course. And so I'm pumped, man. I mean, I think we'll have a couple nice sporting clay shoots out there this fall, and we're looking to build that up a little bit.
So is that something that's it's not just for the summer, it's going to stay open going forward?
Yeah, like we were talking about. I mean, here in Arkansas, we're lucky that the weather holds out. You can kind of shoot year round. So clubs open year round, Wednesday through Sunday, right? So closed Monday, Tuesday, but otherwise open all day. And the folks down at the club would love to see you and stop by. So I'd say, hey, if you want to come shoot with Remington, we're there. That's
cool. I mean, I think that there are people who enjoy shooting clays, and I mean, really, it's kind of almost like golf courses, right? You will go like, oh, I want to go play Pebble Beach, or I want to go play Spyglass, or all these different places, Sawgrass or whatever. But, it's kind of like that. Like, this would be, to me, that becomes on the list of like, okay, I want to go shoot clays there. I want to go shoot clays at the Biltmore. I want to go shoot clays at this spot.
Right. Nilo, Remington Farms, like there's these iconic places you got to go shoot. And I think we're going to get our gun club to be one of those places for sure. So the course is a ton of fun. Like I was kind of joking about, I'm not a great shot, right? If I'm out shooting 100, like I'm having a good day if I'm breaking 60 kind of thing.
Right.
I have fun out there. We kind of designed the course so that you can be maybe a newer shooter or just tuning back up and you can have a good time. Or, hey, if you're a little more advanced sporting clay shooter and you're warming up for your local state shoot or even nationals, there's some pretty technical stuff out there too. So I think no matter your skill level, you're going to come out and have a good time. And if you break 100, come get a hold of me because I want to shake your hand. It's tough.
Dude, you guys need to do something for people who break 100. Be like, you get a case of ammo or some Remington swag or something like that.
Something. I'm going to write that down. I love that idea. Maybe like a 100 club Remington hat.
Yes.
Just something,
yeah.
Right?
Have a list. You get your name on a little plaque. This is the 100
cool.
club.
That would be
super cool.
Yeah. Back out there.
So I love it. So also, because Remington's kind of getting back up and running when the ammo, and I keep seeing the shooting team expand. I want to talk about that, and also how young people especially, can get into being that type of pro shooter right after this quick break. Ruger's LCP Max offers 10+1 rounds in the same footprint as the Ruger LCP2, and it fits in a pocket holster. You can actually get the accessory mag, the bigger mag, for 12+1 capacity. Again, in that little LCP 380. It's compact, it's lightweight, it's easy to carry. Pretty much doesn't matter what you're wearing, and whether you can stick it in a pocket, you can put it in a holster. It's a pretty neat gun. I can't believe they fit all the ammo in there that they did. Ruger.com is where you go to find out more. Ballistic Advantage. If you're thinking about doing an AR build, Ballistic Advantage it's really one of the first places to start. They have barrels, they have uppers, they have lowers, they have all the components that you need. And it's not just a matter of they make barrels, but they have certain things like the Hansen profile that is an improvement, and a lot of people are kind of gravitating towards that. So check out Ballistic Advantage barrels and all the other stuff that they make, ballisticadvantage.com. So Joel, I keep getting these press releases from you guys like every few weeks, and it seems like the Remington shooting team is growing. Oh,
we've just been killing it. It's been an awesome year. So, kind of bringing Remington back, we said, what are we known for? I mean, it's like we've been talking about, Ryan, it's Gun Club, it's STS, it's Nitro, it's our trap skeet sporting loads. So we said, hey, we got to rebuild the Remington team. So we went out and we signed up really some of the top competitors, both, old pros like Wendell Cherry, really exciting up and comers like Todd Hitch in sporting clays, Brianna Franz, in sporting as well. New people that are representing the sport really well. And so we're getting them ammo and we're working with them, and they've been notching up some wins. So all three of our teams, trap, skeet, and sporting, have been doing awesome. We just signed up Julia Stallings as kind of an ambassador and she's a USA shooting level trap shooter, right? Okay. So she toured the world and shot some back fence trap. And now she's going to be talking about us and shooting our shells. So it's been fun. We'll keep letting everybody know about that, because I think it's cool to see our loads out there competing at the highest level. And, you know, it's good feedback for us as a company too, right? I mean, we want people that are shooting thousands and thousands of rounds and targets a year telling us, hey, you know, this load's a little hot, this load's a little soft. Have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? And I mean, we're working on some new products kind of based on that feedback, right? And saying, you know, hey, Joel, you know, Remington, you guys don't have I'm making this up, you know, a Nitro load in 1 ounce and 16 gauge, and I'm shooting a 16 now, whatever, right? So we want to listen to those folks and kind of use them as some, you know, what are they seeing out there?
Yeah, the pro shooters, and I think the companies that do it right, is kind of like what you're talking about. It's not just about them being a spokesperson or winning their tournaments, their matches, whatever, but that R&D, because number one, whether it's the guns or the ammo or, you know, depending on what the discipline is, I mean, optics, they're tinkerers a lot of times because they're trying to get the most, every advantage they can get. And they know more about the guns and the ammo and all this stuff than a lot of us. And like you said, they're more sensitive to it as well. They're like, the recoil impulse on this feels weird to me, or it could be improved. Right. And you or I would be like, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Right. Or
I believe you, but I don't know what you're talking about.
Hey, this wad versus that wad, this pattern versus that pattern. It's some really good feedback. And, you know, we haven't gone full like NBA, NFL level yet, where, you know, your LeBron James, your Pat Mahomes, they're the household names. But I will say, I mean, trap shooting it's the fastest growing sport in high schools in America, right? So, you know, you think about maybe the kids today are looking up to LeBron or Mahomes. Maybe, you know, in 5-6 years, it's Todd Hitch or Rihanna. Yeah. So it's cool to like be part of that community and just see what those folks are seeing out there on the course. So we want to support our Remington team, and we're very happy with those folks. Love to work with them.
And it's such a cool thing because trap shooting, or any type of clay shooting, any type of competitive shooting really, but especially the clays, they can start at such an early age. Oh my gosh. And it's completely it's completely open, right? It's you know, whether you're girls, boys, and even you can do this and be a pro when you're in your 40s or 50s or 60s.
Totally. Yeah. And I mean, you know, to your point, I'm not to go full PC, but like I got my butt kicked playing football because I was a 5'10", 180-pound middle linebacker. Like not good, right? Not good. But you know, if I was more hand-eye coordinated, I would have been an awesome trap shooter or skeet shooter or sporting clay shooter, right? So you don't have to have a perfect physical build or physique, male, female, you know, any kind of disability. You can still get out and shoot and pull the trigger and compete at the highest levels and have an awesome time. So I think it's been really cool seeing more and more high school trap teams, more and more kids shoot and skeet, you know, folks like the Midway USA Foundation. There's a bunch of really great nonprofits out there that are getting kids shooting. And I think that's something important that we all want to see, you know, keep happening.
Another thing is competitive shooting is such an international sport. I mean, this is football. I mean, American football is called American football for a reason. Like they don't follow it other places. But if your kid is, I mean, if your kid's an athlete, I mean, talk about these folks, these shooters are traveling all over the world to compete. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, and whether that's kind of the Olympic setup tour to get ready for the next Summer Olympics, I think, and I could be wrong, I haven't checked since his most recent Olympics, but Ryan, you might know, the most decorated Olympian of all time, Kim Rhodey, she's a trap shooter, right? Correct. I mean, and you don't hear about that on the media or in other places. They represent America and they do just an awesome job for all of us. And so it's really cool to see those people go represent our country abroad. And yeah, I mean, you know, there's qualifying events all over the world. You know, talking to Julia and some of those other Team USA folks that we've helped out with over the years, you know, Vincent Hancock or
There's a bunch of names there. Caleb
Yeah, Derek
Brown,
Mine. I mean, those
Derek
guys,
Mine.
they're traveling all over. They're going to Dubai. They're going to, there was one down in South America recently.
Yeah, Argentina, Brazil, something like that.
Going to Peru. It's pretty amazing. And, making good money, having fun. It's just a really neat thing that we don't hear enough about, perhaps. But in our little world, it's like Derek or Vincent Hancock. Those guys are like rock stars in what they do. It's amazing. They are the LeBron James of this world, right? And they're phenomenal at it. I mean, Kim Rohde's been to 5 or 6 Olympics. That's
oh my gosh,
unreal.
Since she was like 16, 17, now she's, I'd guess, somewhere in her 40s, right?
So I think she was 16. It was the 96 Atlanta Olympics was her first one. And she's basically been to, I think, every one since then.
Yeah, and I think I saw, hasn't she said she's going to try to shoot in, I guess it's LA the next summer Olympics?
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure she will. And I think she's actually from California, so that would make sense. Yeah.
That's right.
You guys have some other stuff, some other new stuff, kind of, I would say, maybe rounding out the lineup. First up was the Golden Saber Defense, now in 10. Is that right?
That's right. Yep. We've gone 10. So, Remington, of course, like I said, anytime you pull the trigger, rimfire, pistol, rifle, shot shell, like we got it all, right? That's one thing I love about our company. But, I think the handgun line has been a little neglected. So we haven't had a ton of 10 millimeter offerings lately, Ryan, but we just rolled out at this last NRA show about a month ago, new 10 millimeter offerings. So we currently have UMC, just our target FMJ type load, right? I think it's 180 grain, 185 grain, somewhere in there, in 10 millimeter, and that's been out on the market. So we just rolled out 10 millimeter in Golden Saber bonded, which is like our top tier self-defensive product. Golden Saber was a law enforcement exclusive for a long time, and then 20 years ago or so, we rolled it out to the consumer market. So Golden Saber's got a great history and name there. It's an awesome bonded defensive projectile. It's what I carry. I think I'd recommend it to anybody, and I'd stack it up against, the HSTs or the Gold Dots of the world, right? So Golden Saber bonded in 10 mil, that's new. That is a 180 grain bullet. I think MSRP is somewhere around $40 for a box, somewhere in there. And then we also rolled out Golden Saber Defense. Now, Golden Saber Defense, it's the same technology. We use the same bullet form, nose cuts, but it's not bonded, right? So it's a more traditional cut and core bullet, a little bit easier for us to make, so it's a little bit cheaper. And so we rolled out that line, Golden Saber Defense, also in a 10 millimeter. So now we've got 2 defensive 10 millimeter loads. It's a great bear load, right? I mean, we were talking about, I just came back on a Canadian bear hunt, which was a ton of fun. And there were some times up there, we saw some grizzlies. Might not have been bad to have some 10 mil hanging around, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know if I can do that in Canada, right, with a handgun. But anyway, if you're out west, you're on an elk hunt, you need a bear gun. I think 10 millimeter is super popular for that. It's a great option. So whether it's concealed carry, home defense, big game defense, dangerous game defense, I think 10 mil is an awesome option. And we've now got it in Golden Saber.
And there are a lot of new guns coming out in 10 millimeter.
Yes. Yep. Which is exciting and taking advantage of that. It's funny how these cartridges kind of come up and down and back and forth, right? I mean, 40 Smith & Wesson kind of had its day and 10 millimeter fell back and now 10's kind of back, right? 9 millimeter, 30 super carry kind of duking it out, right? I mean,
I wanted to talk about that because that's a new one that seems to have a bit of traction, and it's always tricky when a new cartridge comes out. It's like, okay, it's always a chicken egg thing. Totally. Who's going to make the gun? Who's going to make the ammo? The 30 super carry came out, and right off the bat, Smith & Wesson's doing it in their shield. I noticed you guys are loading it as well as Federal, right?
That's right. So, I'd say on 30 super carry, it's kind of a people either love it or hate it deal. I'd say go out and try it, right? If you get a chance to go shoot 30 super carry, to me, it feels kind of like a snappy 380, like a heavy 380 load, right? But I like it. I mean, ballistically, it's kind of like a 9 millimeter performance in a 380 size package for anybody that hasn't had a chance to shoot it yet. So kind of the whole idea, talking to the Federal Ammo guys, is, for years, gun makers have been trying to squeeze one more extra round into the magazine, right? Two extra rounds into that compact, that micro compact. So we said, hey, as ammo guys, Federal was like, what can we do to follow that same principle and say, hey, you're in a shootout, like you might need that 1 or 2 extra rounds in the mag. So how do we get that done, right? If 9mm are standard, we want the same internal performance. How do we make that smaller, fit more rounds in the mag? And kind of the result was 30 super carry. So so we're loading super carry at Remington in our UMC line, so good practice load. And then we also have a HTP handgun line. So that's nice. High internal performance, another good self-defensive carry load, right? And last I heard, Smith & Wesson has their Shield. I think they're rolling out their Shield Easy in 30 super carry pretty soon. Yeah. And then another Arkansas company, Nighthawk Customs, has some high-end, bougie, pretty cool.
Some really handmade, hand-fitted 1911s, like high-end stuff. Yeah, the super carry, I've shot it a bit this year. Yeah, I would say that ballistically on paper, it's almost the same as a 9. Mm-hmm. You shooting it, it's not much more recoil than a 380. Right. But the biggest deal is what you're talking about. And in the gun we were using, which was a Shield, you get 2 extra rounds. And I think in the like extended full size mag, I want to say it's like 16 in the gun, which is unreal.
It's a lot. And I'm excited, obviously, like this is the Federal likes to say it's the first caliber cartridge really designed with concealed carry in mind, right? So you think a 9mm, it was a military cartridge that kind of made its way into the consumer market. Mm-hmm. This is the first time someone said, hey, if we designed ammo to be concealed carry, what would it look like? And the result was 30 super carry. And for me, I'm excited. I'm like, hey, I know there's power factors and rules and open versus closed stuff you got to get through, but you take this to competition, you say, hey, I'm shooting 3-gun, IDPA, USPSA, whatever. What could this do for competition? Right? Because now, assuming it's allowed, you're rolling around with a little bit of love in your mag. I think that's exciting. I think it'll be cool to see what people do with PCCs in 30 super carry, right? And having that Scorpion with a little extra capacity or that PC charger or whatever. So I'm pumped to see where it goes. It'll be a fun one.
Yeah, I'm glad to see you guys are loading it. You're I don't know if you're the chicken or the egg, but you're a part of the equation.
Yeah, we're the chicken tender maybe because it's baked out there. It's on shelf. So yeah, I'd say try it out. Again, like y'all want more info on it, just remington.com. The folks, federalpremium.com have a ton more info on 30 super carry. So if you want to check out ballistics, check out gel photography, see how internal performance looks. There's some cool videos out there and you guys have covered it, Ryan, too, I know.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it's neat. I like new stuff, and this one's no joke. I mean, there's some cool things about it. Joel, thanks for being with us, man.
Always good to be here. Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah, that was fun. So we'll see you guys all next time. That's it for us on Gun Talk Nation.